So I'm in-house counsel at Deloitte & Touche. I practice primarily corporate commercial law, and I have a focus in technology. As anyone that practices in-house knows, we wear a lot of hats on any given day. So in a firm as big and diverse as Deloitte, I mean, we have 8,000 employees. So at any given moment on any day, we could be sort of handling a whole host of different issues with respect to any of the various service lines. We have 5 service lines: tax, audit, financial advisory, consulting, and enterprise risk. And the Office of the General Counsel, where I sit, serves all of those 5 service lines across the country. I also have some compliance responsibilities, so I have a focus in privacy law as well. And yeah, on any given day, you never know kind of what's going to pop up. I think the pinnacle probably of my career to date would be, and this may seem sort of like a pat answer from a commercial lawyer, but it's probably the first sort of big deal that I closed. Before you close your first big deal, you're not really sure whether you know what you're doing, and when you finally do, you sort of realize why you went to law school and kind of why you are doing what you're doing. And it also happened to be my first technology deal. So now probably 70% of my practice is technology, and so I think that first deal really helped me to understand that I love practicing technology law, and I love those sort of big systems implementations. They're fun to contract for, and there's a lot of sort of moving pieces, and it's fun to keep track of all of them. I think the first best piece of advice comes from our general counsel, Ken Ferdine. Ken always says, never say no to a new opportunity. You know, if something presents itself and you have an option to try something new, you should take it, because you never know if that opportunity is going to present itself again. I think the second piece of advice would be from our assistant general counsel, George Bejic, and George says, or encourages me to always ask questions. You know, never to be afraid to ask questions, never to be afraid to sort of probe deeper and find more information, because when you do, you end up learning more and end up doing a better job as a lawyer. And I think the last piece of advice would be from my parents, who always said to be yourself. I try not to take myself too seriously. I think that sort of emanates in my practice, and I think it makes me easier to negotiate with and easier to work with, and I think it really forms a sort of tenet for how I practice law. So I'd say what I value the most about my practice is the fact that it's a constant challenge. You know, there's a lot going on every given day, and there are a whole host of different files that I'm managing, and you never kind of know what's going to come up next. And I think that diversity in the practice helps to keep it interesting. You know, we're sort of covering a lot of different issues, compliance issues, and papering different kinds of work for the various service lines. And I think the best thing about Deloitte is the teamwork and the collegiality of the group that I work in. So the Office of the General Counsel, we're a close-knit group, and we are, you know, different personalities and have different areas of interest and focus, but we all support each other and have a really great working environment. And I think, you know, also it's really fantastic working with the professionals at the firm and supporting the partners and the employees. They're all experts in their field. I was lucky enough to volunteer at Camp Puchigayas this summer, which is a privately funded, volunteer-based organization that facilitates children with cancer going to summer camp. And you know, being around self-aware children that are so confident and so just thoughtful was really a game changer for me, because those kids are really fantastic, and it was wonderful to have the opportunity to be at summer camp. I'm also participating in a Pro Bono Law Ontario ACC initiative. They've developed jointly an adult adoption program, and it gives in-house counsel the opportunity to do pro bono work, which they, in the ordinary course, wouldn't do. And the genesis of the program, or the sort of nature of the program, is an adult adoption arrangement where children who have, in a lot of cases, been with foster families for a long period of time, once they turn 18, the foster family wants to adopt them. And it sort of simplifies the adoption process because the children can now consent on their own behalf. And so a colleague of mine and I are actually jointly sort of acting for the parents and the child in an adoption. And it's great because it gives us the opportunity to sort of practice law in an area that we wouldn't ordinarily, and also help people that wouldn't be able to afford lawyers otherwise.